Hello everybody. I don't know what order I'm going to post these three videos, but this is another video that I am posting on the same day, so wearing the same stuff. But I'll post them on different days for you, as to not overwhelm you with too much information. I like to break it up, that way you can just click on the video that pertains to what you're interested in. And because I tend to ramble, I have the gift of gab, and I don't want to overwhelm you, make these videos too long, or bore you terribly. All right, so let's get going. What I decided to talk about today is making up the calories. Um, Taking it straight from Dr. Simeon's protocol, not making this up as I do on this channel. I always tell you when I'm sharing my opinion, and I tell you when I'm reading straight from the protocol. Right now I'm going to read straight from the protocol, and this talks about, well, let's just go ahead and read it, and then I'll talk about it for a little bit. Making up the calories. This one's a little bit longer than the last two. So here we go. The diet used in conjunction with HCG must not exceed 500 calories per day, and the way these calories are made up of is of utmost importance. For instance, if a patient drops the apple and eats an extra breadstick instead, he will not be getting more calories, but he will not lose the same amount of weight. There are a number of foods, particularly fruits and vegetables, which have the same or even lower caloric value than those that are listed as permissible foods on this diet, and yet we find that they interfere with the regular loss of weight under HCG, presumably owing to the nature of their composition. Pimento peppers, okra, artichokes, and pears are examples of these. Apparently stay clear away from those because those were specifically tested and they found that they interfered with the weight loss. All right, let's continue. While this diet works satisfactorily in Italy, certain modifications have to be made in other countries. For instance, American beef has almost double the caloric value of South Italian beef, which is not marbled with fat. This marbling is impossible to remove. In America, therefore, low-grade veal should be used for one meal, and fish, excluding all of those that are on the do not eat list, such as herring, mackerel, tuna, salmon, etc., because they have a high fat content, or dried, smoked, or pickled fish. Those are not permissible either. So low-grade veal should be used for one meal, and fish, chicken breast, lobster, crawfish, prawns, shrimp, crab meat, or kidneys for the other meal. I don't ever remember reading kidneys before. That's the first time I remember reading that we should eat kidneys. Do people eat kidneys? I've heard of people eating liver. Every now and then my mom would serve it to us when we were kids. Liver and onions. Not a fan. But kidneys, that's a first. Okay. Permissible. If you want to eat a kidney, eat a kidney. Where the Italian breadsticks, the so-called grissini, are not available, a Melba toast has about the same weight and the same porous as the very porous grissini, which is much more to look at and to chew. I completely disagree with this. I think that the Melba toast looks better. But I've never tried the Melba toast, so I don't know. Anyway, the grissini is so incredibly skinny that literally you have to eat about half of it before you feel like you even have something in your mouth. The Melba toast looks like it's a little more substantial to me personally because it's flat and bigger. Anyway, I continue. In many countries, I'm sorry, I got mixed up on my sentences. In many countries, specially prepared, unsweetened, and low caloric foods are freely available, and some of these can be tentatively used. When local conditions or the feeding habits of the population make changes necessary, it must be borne in mind that the total daily intake must not exceed 500 calories if the best possible results are to be obtained, that the daily ration should not contain more than 200 grams of fat-free protein and a very small amount of starch. Okay. Okay, so he's just basically saying, depending on where you live, some of the stuff that they're saying you should eat might not be as available, such as the lean meats. I think you can pretty much get them wherever you want in the world now, but at any rate, I mean, people live in different places and some things might not be as accessible as what other people have at their fingertips. I might take it for granted because I live in a suburb of a larger city, and so, variations of different kinds of foods and things are readily available. I can get Melba toast, I can get grissini sticks, I can get low fat meat and fish. Um, but depending on where you live, you may not have that option. Okay, I continue. Just as the daily dose of HCG is the same in all cases, so the same diet proves to be satisfactory for a small elderly lady of leisure or a hard-working muscular giant. Under the effect of HCG, the obese body is always able to obtain all the calories it needs from the abnormal fat deposits, regardless of whether it uses 1,500 or 4,000 calories a day. It must be made very clear to the patient that he is living to a far greater extent on the fat which he is losing than on what he eats. I just find that amazing, don't you? I understand it. It makes sense to me that if you're a much larger person and thus you're used to taking thousands calories more, that you can be on the same protocol because you're not starving your body. It's just using more of the fat reserves that you have in your body because you have more of them anyway. So it all balances out. So in the end, we all are on the same food protocol. We're all on the same amount of HCG. Okay. Many patients ask why eggs are not allowed. The contents of 2 good-sized eggs are roughly equivalent to 100 grams of meat. But fortunately, the yolk contains a large amount of fat, which is undesirable. I don't know why he said fortunately there, but it should be unfortunately. The yolk contains a large amount of fat, which is undesirable. Very occasionally, we allow egg boiled, poached, or raw to patients who develop an aversion to meat. But in this case, they must add the white of 3 eggs to the 1 egg whole. In countries where cottage cheese made from skim milk is available, 100 grams may occasionally be used instead of the meat, but no other cheeses are allowed. All right. I really thought that there were more substitutions I talked about in here, but I might be looking back to the original protocol. So, okay. What we talked about today are accommodations, a few accommodations that you can make. For those who have an aversion to meat, you can go with 3 egg whites to 1 egg to equivalent a protein equivalency if you need to. I have read on many protocols that once a week this is acceptable anyway as a protein substitute, so there's that too. What else? I thought I talked about beverages here, but I guess not. It must have been the paragraph before. I thought I was going to talk today a little bit about beverage substitutes, but apparently not, because we really just talked about can you change up the 500 calories? No. Can you change up the different foods that you eat? No. Can you substitute things? No. Do you have to watch the lean meat that you eat? Yes. Be aware and cognizant of the lean meat that you. Oh, I thought that it was a class that I was missing. Panicked for a second. And because of the marbling. Now, I think that marbling only applies to red meat, which is something that you don't have on the protocol anyway. I mean, I guess lean beef, some people have, but I think on the original protocol, let me glance up and see. You're not supposed to have any red meat. Oh, no, you can. You can. And that's funny. Isn't it funny how I like block that out of my mind? In the original protocol, it says you can have beef, but they're saying that it has to be extremely lean beef, and that is what is more common in Italy, and that we have more marbleized meat here. So if you're going to have some beef, or a small lean piece of steak, it needs to be lean. Get yourself a filet mignon and do it right. All right, that's all I have for today. That's all I'm going to share. Some special exceptions on the diet, and can you make up calories in different ways? And basically, no, stick to the protocol. And nothing earth shattering today. I'm sorry, I didn't have anything great to share. But I'll be posting these at sometime in the next couple of days. What day is today? Today's Thursday. I'm leaving on Sunday to go out of town. So maybe I'll try to post one on Friday, and then maybe on Sunday or Monday while I'm out of town, I'll have it uploaded so that I can just go ahead and post. And then I come back on Wednesday, so next Thursday would be the first time that I can make another video. So I'll try to, after I get back next week from my lovely vacation with my sister, post something else and give you even more information in the protocol. That's all I have for today. If there's any questions or something that I haven't added, please put it down below. I have received a bunch of questions within the past couple weeks since I posted my last video on different videos. Some of them might be my other channel, actually. But I will get to those. I try my best to respond to you before I delete the email that lets me know that the message is in there. And occasionally a message gets posted and I don't get the email notification, technology. So I apologize if I don't respond at all. But I try to save those messages even if I don't get around to clicking on them and seeing where they are and what video and responding to them. So I will get to you. Eventually I will, I promise. My life isn't that crazy that I have to. I wouldn't be doing these videos, I suppose, if my life was so crazy I couldn't respond to anybody. So there you go. That's all. Take care. Hope you are staying warm as the weather is starting to turn, unless you're in a beautiful state like California or Florida or Texas or something. But if you're in the Midwest or anywhere up north, it's starting to get chilly outside, which is kind of nice. I enjoy the 4 seasons. I do. For short bits of time. But let me tell you, summer's still my favorite. Take care. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.